Hey everybody, this is Kristen, and today I have for you the clue number 8 for the Puzzle Mystery Quilt Stratford, which was a spring 2009. So there's two different ones going on right now. The one that I'm doing today, and then there's another one which I'm not doing at all right now. So if you're not sure, there's a fall 2019, this is spring 2019. So hopefully that doesn't confuse you too much. But we're going to do two different blocks this month. The first one is this right here, and you're making 4 of these. So this one I can show you. The other one we're only making 1 of, so you and I will be figuring this out as we go along together to get that block done. So that is pretty much your heads up for what we're making today. If you want to sew along with me, we'll get started on that in just a second. But just a heads up for everybody, for those of you who don't know, I am 8 months pregnant and due in the middle of October. So it's entirely possible that you won't see a video from me for a while. Because usually these ones ship the beginning of the month, so it'll be shipping at the beginning of October, which means we'll see what baby wants to do. So just a heads up, if y'all don't see anything from me for a while, that is the reason. Alright, I can't think of anything else, so if you have questions or comments or anything like that, drop me a line below. Hit the like button if you don't mind, subscribe, and I will see you guys maybe soon. We'll find out. Alright, thanks. Alright, so we are going to get started on the first clue, the one that I already showed you. Make sure you have your card right here, okay? And that's going to help you make sure you have all the correct colors where they need to go. So we are going to start with step 1, and this is a clue that you can chain piece. So I'm going to be doing step 1 and then step 3, getting a couple pieces for each of those taken care of. So step 1 says join a large triangle of A to a rectangle of F. So this is my F, nice big rectangle there, and come here. This is my large A triangle, okay? So you're really close to me today. There we go. So your F is going to be on your left hand side, and your A is going to be on the right. And when you're setting them up, I want this long end to be pointing, if you have a square, towards your lower right hand corner, okay? So flip them over. We're going to do right sides together, pretty sides together. And pin, 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 pin. So that is this first little bit. Honestly, this clue goes together pretty easily. I whipped up the other 3 in no time yesterday, so this part at least should be simpler than the next one. Alright, so I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to jump to step 3, just because I like to chain piece. So we're going to get a square of E, which is this one for me, and another rectangle of F. So your square is going to be on your left hand side, F is going to be on your right hand, easy, and just go ahead and get those 2 together. So I'm going to pin, sew, and press, because that's generally the order you do things in. And do make sure when you're pressing that you're paying attention to the directions. So if the one I just put together, step 3, it says press towards F, so the big rectangle. And the one that I made just prior also says press towards F. So just make sure you're doing that correctly. I definitely screwed one up and had to unpick a little bit to make sure everything is going to be good. So go ahead And double check your directions, and then we'll come back for the next piece of these two bits. Alright, so your two blocks are going to be attached to each other, look like that. Now we're going to get out F1 triangles, so you should have two of these. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with my camera today. I apologize, y'all. Alright, so let's set aside step 3 and go back up to step 2. So this is what we made in step 1. In step 2, so we're going to position like so, where your F is on your left-hand side. You're going to take your little F triangle and just attach it to the bottom there, okay? So again, that long edge is matching up with the long edge of your A fabric. And hopefully that makes sense to y'all. We're gonna carefully pin this, and you are gonna see a little bit of overlap onto the A fabric, and that is totally fine. That's actually what's supposed to happen. So don't get concerned if it doesn't just stop at your F. So it should, here's my A fabric, and you'll see it does kind of overlap a little bit, and that's okay. And then, so this is what we made in step 3. It's going to go E, F, and then F again. And again, that long edge, slide it down so you can see it. This long edge is going to be on your lower right hand side, okay? So pin those together. The one that I have in my hands right now, it says press towards the triangle. And then the one that I just pinned also conveniently says press towards the triangle. So same direction for both of these. So go ahead and get that done, and then we're going to put these two bits together, and then we're done with this first clue. So like I said, this one is really easy. The next one looks like it's got a little bit more work in it. So thought we'd get the warm-up in and work our way into the harder one. So alright, go ahead and sew this, press it, and we'll be right back. Alright, it's time to put these all together. So, I'm going to have you lay them out where your E fabric is in the upper left-hand corner. And then, let's see, make sure I've got this correct. I always screw this up. There we go. Turn it. So your step 3 is going to be across the top. And then your step 1 and 2 is what you're going to add to the bottom, if that makes sense. So make sure your A is in the middle. You have your E and your 2 Fs. Hopefully that sort of kind of makes sense. Like I said, just make sure that the one, that step 3 fabric is going horizontal across the top. So if you do that, you shouldn't have any other difficulties. It should be really self-explanatory of where everything else matches up. So again, just look at your directions carefully. There we go. And it says press towards E, F, which should be your top fabric. So that piece that was running horizontal, that should be your EF fabric, if you did it right. Alright, so let me finish this guy up, and we can move on to the next part of our clue. Alright, we have a beautiful finished triangle. So that is clue 8B. We're making 4 of those, don't forget. Alright, flip our page over and now comes shenanigans. So, get my card out. You're going to need a medium B triangle and a medium C triangle. So for me, my B is this beautiful purple here. And I'm just going to lay it out the way it has in the video. So my point is pointing to the left. And my C is a light purple. And that point is going to be pointing towards the right. It says make 1. So flip and pin. And it also says press towards B. So when you get this sewn together, press it. In my case, it's going to be towards that dark purple, not the light purple. Alright, so gotta get that done, and then we'll see what other shenanigans are in store for us. So your 2 triangles have combined to make a square. And let's get this laid out the way it is in the photos again. Alright, so B pointing out towards the left, C pointing out towards the right. You are now going to get a square of A fabric, which for me is this really pretty multicolored one. And that's going to attach to the upper right corner of your C fabric. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. And once you are done with this one, it says press towards C. So in my case, again, that's pressing towards my light purple this time. Alright, so this is what we got so far. Moving on to step 1C. So my A is going to be up in that upper corner, my BC fabric in the middle, and then we're putting something down here on the bottom, okay? So that's going to be a C triangle, which again, for me, is this beautiful light purple. So, alright, what you're going to want to do is make sure this long edge basically is parallel with you. It's on that bottom edge. So you're just continuing this long streak on that one side as well. So when you get that put together, it says press towards C. So you're pressing towards the triangle that you are adding right now. For the last part of this section, because we basically have, you know, A, B, and C, so the last part of what we're doing right now is adding a small F1 triangle. So we already added this C fabric on the bottom. We're going to travel back up to the top, use the long edge against the square of A fabric. So you are going to have a little bit of point hanging off each end, and that's totally fine. If you're really adamant about getting it absolutely in the middle, what you can do is you can actually crease your fabric. So I could fold this over and just do a finger crease, and fold this over and finger crease it and match up the creases. I'm not today. I unfortunately am in a little bit of a time crunch, so it's just not happening for me tonight. But I've definitely done that before in the past, and I like the fact that I'm knowing, yes, I'm exactly in the middle. So that's usually my personality, so up to you if you want to go that route. And it says you're pressing towards F, so you're pressing towards the triangle that we are putting on right now. Alright, so what we just finished is this little bit right here, and we're going to move on to step 2A. So you're going to need a square of A fabric and a F triangle. Okay, so A fabric you're going to have in a diamond shape for right now, and your F fabric is going to be on that upper right hand line, if that makes sense to y'all. And then you're going to press towards F, so you're pressing towards the triangle. Alright, we have this put together now. And then you're going to want to grab an A triangle. So the fabric that matches your square, right? And you're going to put that on your lower left. And the long edge should be kind of, how do I describe this? You're going to have flat and then angled and then long. I don't think I'm making much sense to myself even tonight. Oh my goodness. Alright, one thing that I try to do when I've got like these clipped edges and I'm not sure what's lining up where is just line up these two edges together. And that helps make everything, theoretically, line up the way it's supposed to. So that is what I've been doing. And I've honestly kind of been thinking, sorry, my dog just walked into the room. He's the cone of shame and he's running into everything. I've been contemplating how, you know, you look at these clues and you're like, oh my goodness, this is scary, this is going to be just so difficult, and how well written all the clues are, that this is actually, you know, pretty simple and pretty enjoyable, and compared to what I've been working on lately, I've been making a baby quilt for my son to be. And I'm still, you know, I'm doing one block at a time, and I'm cutting out the background fabric as I go, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever! And this is so much quicker and easier, so it's really a nice break. Alright, so we just sewed on this A fabric, and you're going to press it towards the square, okay? Alright, we're going to have this weird shaped piece, and we're going to get out, if I can find it, there you are, a F1 triangle, which is this beautiful green in my case. And that is going to kind of be your cap for the other end of your A fabric. So once we get this on, 3 out of the 4 sides for A is going to be done. Alright, it's going to absolutely drive me nuts if I don't get this one accurate, I think. So, I know I said I wasn't doing this because I am pressed for time, but oh well. Finger pressing just a little bit. Just get the teeniest bit of a crease in there. Don't have to press it with your machine, your iron. Just enough to have an idea, you know, a lasting impression. Something that's going to be there for the next minute and then kind of fade out. So, okay. Pin that and then press towards the triangle that we're putting on right now. So that's easy. The other thing that you can kind of look at is, so I'm a little off. Where these two fabrics meet. So hopefully you can see right there, it's a little bit off. So I am going to adjust just a little bit, just to make sure that everything's lining up as well as I can get it. It's not an exact science. You know, do your best and fudge to fit. It's kind of become a way of life for me. I try really hard to get it right, but sometimes you just gotta make it up and figure it out, and otherwise it's just no fun, and then I'm just stressing. So, alright, so sew this one together and press towards the triangle that we're putting on right now. Ta-da! You have made a pyramid! Alright, so that is 2C. So now it says join step 1D to step 2C. So this piece that we made earlier and set aside is what we're going to attach now to what we just made. Okay. Without breaking my machine. Ah. Oh man, I'm having all kinds of troubles tonight, y'all. Okay, so this is my triangle part. So let's put that up here to start. Okay, so you should have your F1, your little triangle that we just did, in this upper left-hand corner. And then your F2 fabric, A and A, right? So this is your left side, this is the top. Next piece, we want that F fabric to be at the top again, okay? So you're going to have your F on the top right, A, your square of the two different colors, your B and your C, and then your C fabric on the bottom. So top, left, the teeny bit of bottom that you have, and then if you had more, this would be your right, but this little edge is just your right, okay? So we're going to do that, sew that together, and then you just have two triangles to put together, and then you sew that on, and then we're done. So, like I was saying, it looks atrocious. You're looking at it and you're going, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to do this? But I've found that the directions are pretty darn good. So if you did everything you're supposed to and you press the correct directions, when you have seams like this and here, they should nest beautifully. And if you are sewing at a consistent seam, you shouldn't have to fudge. So that for me is always my my gauge of how good I'm doing. Do I have to fudge the seam or not? Okay, so I'm just going to finish pinning and sewing and all that jazz, and then I will be back. Well, actually, you know what? Why don't we just skip down to step 3, because that way I can chain piece. I can do this, and I can also piece together the other two triangles, and then we are just that much closer to finishing. So at this point, I don't think I'm going to get confused, because those are the only two other pieces of fabric I have. Okay, put that aside. We're going to get out an A and a B. A is going to be on the left-hand side, B is going to be on the right. And you want it so that your long edge is on the outside, okay? So the long edge of A is on that upper left, long edge of B is on the upper right. So they should make one big triangle. Alright, so go ahead and get that together. When you press this, you're pressing towards A. When you press the big thing that we just put together, there's actually a diagram on your sheet. It says press as shown. So, oh goodness, let me try to explain this if I can. Okay. So, remember the big triangle that we made in step 2C? You're pressing towards that big triangle. So, this is my triangle piece, this right here, and I'm going to press towards this, not the long stretch, but the triangle. All right, moment of truth. We have this fun piece here. Got my little triangle. And now, let's move this again so you can see. Okay, make sure your F's are on the top. That's the easy way of making sure you've got it put together or oriented the right way. And then we're going to have A2 come in. Gosh, that didn't make any sense. This A fabric meeting up with this A fabric, okay? There we go. I can talk. So you're going to have your 2 A's in the middle, 2 A's on the side, and then on the bottom it's going to rotate C, B, C, B. Okay? So flip that over. Again, if you listen to the directions and press the correct way, you should be able to nest your seams beautifully, which makes everything so much easier. And then just pin, sew, and press as shown. Blah. I think it's time for a nap. Which, according to this diagram, you're pressing it towards the big bulk of what we already did. So not the little triangle that we're putting on right now. You're pressing towards the rest of it. Okay? So that is what you're going to be doing. Alright. Here is our finished block. It should measure 9.5 by 12.5. So some of my edges are kind of like right here, really ugly. So I'm definitely going to be measuring this and maybe cleaning it up a little bit just to make it the correct size, but that is it for this glue. So we're done for the month. Yay, another one down. If y'all have any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to message me. Well, leave me a comment down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you ASAP. Otherwise, hopefully I see you guys next month. If not, I'm sorry. I know that's kind of inconvenient for a lot of you, but family's important and babies come when they feel like it, so we'll figure it out eventually, right? Alright, y'all. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful night.